My name's Doug Moore, and I was a student here. I guess I started ninth grade at Central High School in 1973, and then I went to Central for 9th and 10th grade, and then moved to Newnan High School 11th and 12th grade. I graduated in 77. I hope the math's right, because it only took me 4 years, so I think it was 73 to 77. I went away to college for 4 years, came back in 1981, started teaching. I was an assistant band director here at Newnan High School, and taught actually 5th grade band out in the feeder school programs at Arnco Sargent School, at Moreland, and at Grantville. Then in 1985 I went to O.P. Evans and taught band there, but I still worked with the Newnan High School band program, taught the drum line, worked with the jazz band program and the concert band program. Did that through 97, then went to Central at middle school, then opened Smoky Road, always still working with the Newnan High School program continuously through all that. So I was part of the Newnan High School staff up through 2002 when I went into administration. During that time, both of my own kids went through Newnan High School and graduated here as well. My wife also, whom I dated when I was in high school, we were married, and so my whole family went to Newnan and graduated here.
Why did you come back to Newnan High School, and have you worked with people that used to be your teachers, and what was that like?
Yeah, I came back because, well, you know, being a newly graduated college student, of course the first thing you're doing is looking for a job. Well, there was a job opening here, and the band program was really flourishing in the late 70s and early 80s. So I had the opportunity to come and work with the program while I was in college. And so it was very attractive to me. I wanted to do it. They were very progressive and were doing things that I enjoyed doing. Plus, of course, with my fiance, my future wife, being here and working in Newnan, it was a good fit. Both of our families still live here, and so we knew it would be a good place to come back and settle down and raise our family.
Did you have to work with people that used to be your teachers?
I did. I worked with a few. Of course, Ms. Landreth was one of my teachers. She was my 11th grade English teacher, and of course, really enjoyed working with her. One story that when I came back as an assistant principal, of course, administrators evaluate teachers. That's part of the administrators of the assistant principal and the principal's job, whether people realize that or not. Sorry. But we had this evaluation process, and of course, I don't know if of course, a lot of folks in our city have had Miss Landreth and know that she can be a little demanding and maybe for a student, maybe even a little intimidating from time to time. Well, I was a new administrator, and my first year, Miss Landreth was one of my evaluatees. I had to evaluate Miss Landreth, and I really thought that was pretty ridiculous that I would be that I had to evaluate a master teacher like her. So I was a little intimidated by that, but yeah, she's probably one of the only ones who was still here that I remember really working closely with. That was a teacher.
What was the most challenging aspect of your job?
Well, and I guess you have to say which job. The band director job and the administrator job involved a lot of hours. And it involved a lot of planning and organization. So I think that was the challenging part. From the teaching aspect, the part that was the most enjoyable was standing in front of students every day teaching. But so much other work goes into what has to happen for the program to be successful. And I think that carried through to my administrative experience as well. What I enjoyed most was interacting with students and interacting with the staff. The most challenging part are the things that you have to do sitting behind the desk and talking on the phone and making sure that plans are in place so that what's happening tomorrow, next month, and next year is going to happen and happen at the level that we need for it to happen.
What part of the job, or any job, did you enjoy the most?
Well, like I said, the most enjoyable part for me always was my interaction with young people, and now, right now, I'm working at the central office, which of course is sort of a decision-making body and a planning body for the entire school system, for all elementary, middle, and high school students. And while I'm enjoying that job, it's been quite an adjustment for me, having worked directly with students for 32 years, through 22 years of band directing and 10 years as a school administrator, to then change gears and not be in contact with students every day, and really with staff either. I do a lot of work with principals, and I do a lot of work with maintenance folks, and I go to a lot of meetings and have a lot of those types of conversations. So the most enjoyable part has always been interaction with students.
What is the relationship between Newnan High School and the community, and how important is that relationship?
Well, I think it goes back to just the history, which is why I appreciate this project so much. While I was principal, this is something that I was always fascinated with, and I probably bored people with my conversations about the history. As a matter of fact, last year we what I called officially celebrated our 125th anniversary at Newnan High School, our 125th graduating class, going back to 1887, 1888 being our first graduating class, and moving forward from there. I think because of just the time involved and the number of generations who have come through, there's a natural relationship between the community and the school, because so many people in the community attended here. Their cousins attended, their aunts, their uncles, their grandparents, their parents attended, and it's just, you can't get away from the fact that our community expects great things from this school. So it's up to us to make sure that we're continuing to provide those things, for students here. Not only because it's the right thing to do, but also because the community absolutely demands it from us.
Yeah. In your opinion, what has always made Newnan High School a special place to attend?
Well, and I think a lot of it is that relationship between folks who really care about this school, not just this campus, but what the school stands for. The athletic programs, the fine arts programs, certainly the academic programs. I think everybody who probably has come through and talked today has probably talked about the rigor of the classes, from particular teachers that really challenged them in a particular area, or that really got them excited about a particular subject that they ended up pursuing. So I think that's what's special about it.
What are the biggest changes you have seen from time to time when you were a student at the school till now?
Well, the physical campus, of course, has changed a lot. We've grown a lot. It's now a 4-year school where it's 9 through 12. And as I described earlier, when I came through school, Central High School housed our 9th and 10th grade, and then this campus housed our 11th and 12th grade. So that was a big change, and I think a big positive change in that we now have all 4 grades on one campus. I think it gives the school a lot more continuity. I think there's a lot more school pride and school spirit because everybody's in the same place, and everybody feels like the same school. And of course, in order to do that, we've had to build more buildings, and so the campus is much more complex than it was 35, 40 years ago. But a lot of the things that haven't changed, student body looks the same. If you take out a yearbook from 1970, besides a little difference in hairstyles, facial hair, and the size of collars, it's it's still, I mean, students pretty much look the same and are really the same. I mean, just because of where we are and what this community is. People who've gone away from the community and experienced other places realize that every place isn't like Newnan. It's really a special place.
Yeah. Do you recall any historical events occurring that you heard while you were in school or attended? Or
While I was in school, I'm not sure. You know, of course, it was. You know, we were in post-Vietnam. I was in the '70s, so you know, there's a lot of a lot going on with political rebellion and just after I got in high school. I mean, just before I came to high school, schools had been desegregated. So, you know, that was one of the reasons for the Central campus and the Newnan campus, because Central was the quote-unquote black high school and Newnan was the white high school. It had been Newnan City Schools and then Coweta Public Schools, which all merged into one Coweta County school system. So, you know, there was still a little bit of perceived racial tension, and I think it was, you know, I think it was manifested in students a little bit, but, you know, just like we see now. I mean, the students imitate what they see in our larger culture. So it was not just students. It was parents. It was political figures. It was, you know, it was just a time of the '70s, and unfortunately in our country when there was some tension there. So I don't remember it being a huge problem for us at school, though. I really don't. We never, at least from what I was involved in. But that was probably the largest challenge, I think, politically that was going on for us. Of course, I remember Watergate. I remember those things. You know, the reports and through that time, and so, you know, there was a lot politically going on.
do you remember any historical events when you were a band director or as principal, assistant principal?
Well, you know, a number of things. I think probably one of the most significant things that I remember was 9/11. When I remember I was teaching 7th grade band class at Smoky Road. You know, when the assistant principal came to me, and you know, of course, that was unprecedented. We'd never had any terroristic strike like that, and it was just, I mean, it was hard to wrap your head around, because you didn't, you know, when he came and told me that a plane had flown into one of the Twin Towers, I thought, I'm picturing a little, you know, single-engine Cessna flying into the side and bouncing off. You know, I wasn't expecting anything like, you know, what occurred, and was such a historical event. I remember being at O.P. Evans on a teacher work day when the space shuttle blew up. You know, but things like that, you certainly, there are some defining moments when you remember exactly where you were when those things happened.
Last question, can you describe Newnan High School in one word?
Wow. It'd be hard to nail down one word. I wish I had more time to think about that, because I could probably come up with a better word. Tradition is the word that comes to my mind, but you know, but excellence, I'd have to wrap that in there with it.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Moore.
All right. I appreciate the job y'all are doing. This is a great project.
Thank you.